Sister Wives Season 19 Episode 16, They Can Have That. Sister Wives fans, we've finally made it to the episode you've all been waiting for. Christine Brown and David Woolley's lightning speed relationship is finally culminating with a walk down the aisle. At this point, we've seen every aspect of Christine's wedding planning, from picking a venue to throwing countless celebrations to shopping for a wedding dress. We've also been repeatedly reminded of how different this wedding will be from her first wedding to Kody Brown back in 1994, in which she wore a dress that resembled a satin pillowcase and had to keep the entire thing under wraps because they were afraid of being exposed as a plural family. About 30 years later, Christine is finally getting her dream wedding. And we finally get to see it on this episode, entitled A Time to Weep, A Time to Laugh. Robyn takes a scary spill on four-wheeler. The show opens with Kody and Robyn Brown riding their four-wheelers, which doesn't feel on brand for them. But Robyn grew up riding four-wheelers and she said likes the speed and adventure that goes with riding them. Again, doesn't feel on brand, but one can't help but wonder if we'll ever see the day Robyn rides off into the sunset on a four-wheeler without Kody. Suddenly, as Kody recounts in a confessional, their paths get crossed and they end up riding in different directions. Kody comes riding up on Robyn and spooks her, so she changes course and ends up getting thrown off the bike like a ragdoll. Thankfully, she's wearing a helmet. It's a genuinely terrifying image, and both Kody and the camera people rush towards her to help. Before we can find out if Robyn's okay, the show cuts to Moab, Utah, the site of the wedding of the century, Christine and David. They've rented a house and preparations are well underway. Dutiful Janelle is there, of course, and her children will be attending as well. Back to Arizona and Kody is tending to Robyn. She's speaking, and she says she can't tell whether anything is broken. She's in good spirits though, saying she was having too much fun. Kody decides it's the perfect time to tell her she fell off real funny, which feels right for Kody. He seems genuinely concerned, but he has to let her know, through giggles, that it was funny watching her fall. Actually, Robyn and Kody are both giggling over it, probably mostly from shock. When she explains she was scared he was going to hit her, Kody says, a bit defensively, "I don't know why, I've got brakes." If there was a jail for insufferable men, Kody would be there for life. Robyn says she saw stars when she hit her head, but she's okay. She's even able to ride the bike, because these two actually decide they're going to finish their romantic four-wheeler drive to see the sunset. As they arrive to their destination, Robyn, who was just dangerously thrown from her bike, decides to check in on how Kody is feeling. Kody tells her he doesn't know how he's doing, and in a confessional, he expresses concern over the way his and Robyn's relationship is changing. In her own confessional, Robyn admits that Kody has been very angry lately and that she bears the brunt of it. Kody goes on and on about how he's been so upset that his hopes and goals, one big happy family in one big happy house, won't ever come to fruition. "I literally felt like the family was in the way of my goals, because they didn't want the same things I wanted." To jail. Straight to jail Kody goes. And when you say that, it sounds really bad. You know that, right? Because it wasn't working out in the way that you wanted it to, you just kind of, like. Robyn trails off, not wanting to tell Kody the obvious, which is that he sounds like a big selfish baby. After some prodding from Robyn, Kody says it was probably more than just that caused the family to break down. Why I think. Meri cuts ties, literally. After a commercial break, the show cuts to Meri Brown at her peaceful bed and breakfast in Parawan, Utah. Apparently, when Kody and Meri were together, she made him a quilt out of keepsakes from their lives, including shirts, and now Kody has decided he wants the shirts back. So Meri is going to cut up the quilt and return Kody's items to him. Meri should just throw the whole thing into a box and send it to him, so he can do all the manual labor, but she's going to take the time to cut it up and send him the bits he wants. Kody explains that when they married, it never occurred to him that he may have multiple wives and that one of those wives may want his old jerseys. But apparently, this is now important to him, so he wants his stuff back. Meri says that it was actually Kody's idea to do the quilt, but she's going to make him happy and send him his shirts back. Meri points out various mementos on the quilt and explains why they're sentimental. There's her old teenage nightshirt, and the shirt they got when they went to The Price is Right. Oh, to see footage of a young Meri and Kody attending a taping of The Price is Right. Just putting that out into the universe. Meri starts dismantling the blanket, and she recalls a very disturbing conversation she had with Kody when they moved to Vegas. One time, he told me, this was right after we moved to Vegas, he said, "You have been really horrible to me for 20 years, so you're going to have to wait at least that long for me to fix my relationship with you." Meri says she understands why people look at her and wonder how she couldn't have seen the signs that their marriage was doomed, but she says she chalked all that up to Kody just being uncertain about things. She also says he can get really nasty, but he doesn't mean it. In a confessional, Kody says he didn't say that because he was mad at the time, he said it because he was mad enough to tell the truth. Kody, this doesn't make sense, but thanks for trying to clarify. Kody goes on about how there were so many times they should have divorced, but he didn't believe in divorce. Meri blames herself, in part, for not being the easiest to live with. She is using this as an opportunity to improve, but she has to see that this is overwhelmingly Kody's fault, not hers. Meri recalls a list of things Kody tasked her with doing in order to save their relationship. Kody maintains the point was to improve the relationship, so he was giving her a roadmap of things that bothered him about Meri. But now that they're divorced, Kody says he doesn't want to talk bad about Meri. He saved that for when they were married. After all this, Meri says she's at peace because she knows she did everything she could. "I thought that if I was the best person that I could be, that it would be okay with him and now he'd accept me. It took me a while to be able to get to the place where it was okay and just be like, how I feel about myself is not negotiable with you, so whatever it is that you say to me or about me is irrelevant." Robyn may have head injury, asks Kody to reconcile with Janelle. After a commercial break, we're back in Utah, where Christine explains that David is doing his bachelor party the day before the wedding, since his friends couldn't all get together before. So while he's gone, Christine and her daughters and friends are doing a girls' night where they'll run through Christine's hair and makeup for the wedding. Her daughters all accept David, especially Truly, who says she loves David. In a confessional, Christine and David gush over each other, and David says he feels like he's known Christine his whole life. Back in Arizona, Kody's still pouting about his dreams not coming true. He actually sheds tears, and poor Robyn tries to comfort him by asking if he's sure Janelle isn't interested in being married anymore. At this point, it appears the fall from the bike may have done more damage than we thought, because there is no way Robyn is this delusional. She's clinging to the idea that Kody and Janelle will still find their way back to each other. "Janelle's gone, sweetie. She isn't coming back." Their conversation turns tense when Kody tells her she needs to let this go. Robyn then suggests he and Janelle go to therapy, but Kody seems disturbed by her bringing it up at all. "I'm not blaming you. But I'm not at your behest. I'm not going to sit here and try to fix things with a marriage that will never work, just because you think that we should or your belief in plural marriage. Is Janelle interested? Not at all. Not at all. She's as bad as I was with Meri. Jail time again." In a confessional, Kody talks about how Robyn was the one always urging him to work things out with the other wives. Robyn truly believes in polygamy. Kody says if it weren't for Robyn, he would have moved on from Meri way sooner, but Robyn was always pushing him to make things right with all his wives. In a confessional, Janelle lets us know how she really feels about that. "I have no idea what Robyn was pushing Kody to do. And I think it's a shame that Kody could be that controlled by Robyn that he would stay in a relationship that wasn't working. But if she has that much control over him, that's great. They can have that." Sobbin Robyn and Kody too. After a commercial, Robyn says she feels powerless and in shock over all the divorces. She cries talking about how all her hopes and dreams were ruined, and she can't let it go. Kody and Robyn, the two most selfish people on the planet, absolutely deserve each other. The two sit in the woods and cry some more, and it's becoming clear that Robyn is starting to resent Kody for driving all his other wives away. What a twist for all Kody. Kody asks if Robyn will ever be able to accept him as a monogamous person, but Robyn seems to struggle with the idea. Maybe Robyn liked being in a plural family because she only had to deal with Kody a fourth of the time, and now that she's having to deal with him 100% of the time, she's spiraling. Then Robyn challenges Kody to stop rewriting the past, because he keeps saying he never loved his other wives, but when Robyn came into the family, Kody did love all his wives. Kody cops to it, saying he flip-flops a lot when it comes to his ex-wives, But they're all rewriting the past, so he is too. Very mature. Kody then again proves what a colossal hypocrite he is by admitting that he had a college fling, and he actually lost his virginity before he was married. How many times has this man looked his kids in the face and espoused purity culture? And yet, he himself wasn't a virgin when he married. Anyway, he uses this charming anecdote as a way to prove how he wasn't connected to some of his wives, because he only ever told Meri and Robyn. He felt safe with them, he says, to share with him his dirty little secret. The forest heart-to-heart is getting really intense, with Kody and Robyn both tearing up and tough words having to be said. Robyn can't reconcile the fact that Kody insists he never loved some of his wives, because when he married them, he said he did love him. She's probably wondering if this will happen to her one day. "I need you to let it go for me and not hold it against me," says Kody. Kody gets introspective in a confessional, saying that 3 women decided he wasn't worth it, and he doesn't want Robyn to see him as worthless. He also questions whether he actually was worthy, due to the wives leaving. After a commercial, we're finally out of the woods and onto a river, in the form of a riverboat that Christine and David have booked for their wedding rehearsal. Christine and David are wearing cheesy wedding shirts, and they literally run up and down the aisles of the riverboat, high-fiving their guests and chugging beers as they go. Christine reflects on how calm David makes her feel. Watching Christine and David sail down the river, carefree and at peace, it's a stark contrast to Kody and Robyn's forest conversation and the struggles they are still facing. With only a few minutes left of the episode, it's clear we actually won't be seeing the wedding. That will have to wait until next week. Meri Brown claims ex-Kody once told her she'd have to wait at least 20 years for him to fix their marriage due to Meri being really horrible to him. Kody and Meri Brown's spiritual union has been over for 2 years now, but fans of Sister Wives are still watching the former husband and wife recount the details of their tumultuous marriage as season 19 of the TLC series continues to air. On the latest episode of Sister Wives, Meri opened up to her best friend Jen Sullivan about a particularly low point in her and Kody's decades-long union that allegedly took place in 2011, after Kody and his, then, 4 wives relocated their family from Utah to Nevada, and more than 2 decades after he and Meri became husband and wife. "One time he told me, this was right after we moved to Vegas," Meri recalled, as reported by E! News. He said, "You have been really horrible to me for 20 years. So you're going to have to wait at least that long for me to fix my relationship with you." According to Meri, Kody made this threat to her before the family had moved into their respective homes in the Las Vegas cul-de-sac, where they resided until moving, again, as a family to Flagstaff, Arizona, years later when each of Kody's wives were still living in rental homes. Meri went on to tell her friend that Kody also accused her during this exchange of being mean and hard to live with. "And so now I am going to be this way to you and you're just going to have to deal with it for 20 years, Meri recalled Kody saying to her in 2011. When Jen asked Meri how Kody could have said such a thing to one of his wives, Meri said she didn't know. "Listen, joke's on him, I didn't last that long," she added. Meri assured viewers that she got the message that Kody was giving her for years, despite some fans of the show who have branded her clueless for remaining married to the father of 18 until 2023. "I got the clue," she insisted. "I got the message that he was giving. I was chalking it up to, the fact that he was trying to figure things out." Meri also seemingly excused the really nasty things that often spew out of Kody's mouth, noting that she contributed to the pair's issues. "I know I wasn't the easiest to live with," she admitted. "I get that." In response to Meri's comments, Kody told viewers he didn't say those things to Meri years ago purely out of anger. He said them because he was mad enough to tell the truth, and the truth was that they should have divorced at that time. "But I didn't believe in divorce," Kody added. Meri's comments aired just months after Kody and ex-wife Christine Brown's daughter Mykelti Brown suggested on her Patreon account that Kody's mistreatment towards Meri may have been in response to Meri being abusive towards Kody years earlier. While Mykelti didn't confirm that this was definitely the case, she told subscribers of her Patreon that suspicions of such behavior were probably not far off. "I'm not saying yes, but I'm certainly not saying no." As the Ashley previously reported, Mykelti previously spoke out in January 2023 about the abuse she allegedly suffered at the hands of Meri, telling fans on her Patreon that she believed she got the brunt of Meri's alleged abuse. My siblings have told me multiple times that they think that I did receive the worst that she gave, Mykelti said. However, I think that we were all affected by her. Paydon and Gwendolyn Brown, two of Kody and Christine's other children, later confirmed the claims that Meri put her hands on their sister. Meanwhile, Kody and ex-wife Yanelle Brown's daughter Maddie Brown also hinted at Meri's alleged abuse back in November during an episode of her, now former, podcast, The Authentic Society. On the podcast episode, Maddie and her co-host were discussing toxic relationships, which led Maddie to provide an example of an instance when an adult in her life, in this case, Meri, tried to punish her, despite Maddie being an adult at the time. "You and your buttery soft leggings can take several seats, Meri. I remember I had a conversation with Meri, one of my parents, and she was like, 'Don't worry, you're not in trouble.' And I was like, 'I am an adult, AB, I'm married. C, I have children. I don't get in trouble,' she recalled. 'What are you gonna do, spank me and put me in my room?' Maddie went on to compare the situation to circus animals being beaten as a way to prevent them from retaliating against their handlers once they are fully grown. The November podcast episode wasn't the first time Maddie spoke out about Meri's alleged abuse. Several years ago, she tweeted about growing up with an abusive human whom she referred to as a monster. Maddie's brother Paydon later confirmed that Maddie's tweets were about Meri. While Meri didn't allude to any such treatment towards Kody, or any of the children in the Brown family, on Sunday's episode, she acknowledged that she has work to do on herself. "All I can do is look in the mirror, figure out where I can improve and be a better person and just make the rest of my life as good as it can be," she told Jen. "And I tried to do that with, the marriage. You just know Meri tried real hard to work a worthy up plug into this moment of self-reflection." Kody has not yet commented on the claims Meri made on the latest episode of Sister Wives. Kody Brown wants to leave the country and escape his tough life. In recent months, Sister Wives star Kody Brown has found himself navigating one of the most challenging periods of his life. Known for his controversial polygamist lifestyle, Kody's life has unraveled as several of his marriages have fallen apart, leaving him with only one remaining wife, Robyn Brown. This has led to significant emotional turmoil, financial difficulties, and an intense amount of public scrutiny. Now, rumors are circulating that Kody is considering leaving the United States altogether in hopes of finding solace and starting fresh in a new country. A life in crisis. The dramatic decline of Kody's once united plural family began when his third wife, Christine Brown, publicly announced her departure from the marriage in 2021. Shortly after, both Yanelle and Meri Brown followed suit, leaving Kody's once bustling household fractured. Fans of the show watched as his relationships with his children became strained and his business ventures suffered due to the constant stress and negative publicity. Many speculate that these hardships have driven Kody to seek an escape from the pressures of his current life. A desire for peace and privacy. According to insider sources, Kody has allegedly expressed interest in relocating to a quieter, more private location outside of the US. The idea is to leave behind the constant media spotlight and critical commentary that have plagued his family since Sister Wives skyrocketed to fame. While the exact destinations under consideration are not confirmed, Kody is reportedly looking into countries with more relaxed cultural attitudes toward alternative lifestyles and where he could avoid the relentless tabloid coverage. Robyn's influence. One of the key questions is how Robyn, his remaining wife, feels about the idea of leaving the country. Robyn has often been portrayed as Kody's favorite wife, and their bond remains strong despite the turmoil. While some speculate that Robyn might resist the idea of uprooting her children and leaving behind their familiar lives, others believe she would follow Kody's lead if it meant rebuilding their life in a peaceful environment. However, the logistics of relocating a family and dealing with custody arrangements for his younger children could complicate their plans. Fan reactions. Fans of Sister Wives have had mixed reactions to the possibility of Kody fleeing the country. Some viewers empathize with the emotional toll he has experienced, while others remain critical of his handling of his relationships and the choices that led to the breakdown of his family. Social media has been buzzing with comments, memes, and speculation about where he might go and how realistic his plans truly are. Whether Kody Brown actually makes the move abroad or not remains uncertain, but it's clear that he is grappling with significant personal and emotional challenges. As viewers eagerly await updates on his next steps, one thing is certain: Kody's journey continues to be filled with unexpected twists and turns.